That's kind of shirting.
Goodness.
Are you recording?
It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the call to order. This is your village commission hearing. Day is January 2nd, 2025. It is 4 p.m. We're here at 111 Front Street, second floor, room 204. Next business meeting will be Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025 at 12 noon. They'll be here at 111 Front Street, second floor, next door in room 205. And the next hearing will be Wednesday, February 5th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Same building, same floor, same room 204. Go ahead and swear and staff. Swear to tell the truth, all truth, and the truth.
I do.
Okay.
Nick Urson.
We'll go ahead and we'll do the commissioners present. Start on the left.
Rachel Schultz. Robin Strom.
Anthony Harkey, chair.
Rubus Dose. Sarah McCoy.
Nick Field.
Quick note of the forum, or quick note for those in attendance, we do have a 7th commissioner. We are back strong for 2025, 7 members apply. So we're gonna get things going. We'll move on to the staff approvals. And staff approvals begin on page 4 of your agenda. Are there any recusals?
Mr. Chairman, I have to recuse myself on 631 Mohawk Street.
A second, to so.
Okay.
I'm gonna recuse on 670 South Grant, just in case. All right. If there are no others, is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to ratify the staff approvals.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. And on to the approval of minutes from the last meeting, December 4th, 2024.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
You have a second, any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Moving ahead to the applications for certificates of appropriateness. Item 1, COA 2400431, 37 East Stewart Avenue.
This applicant asked that staff represent the application again with changes from the last month's hearing.
Okay.
Do you want to come back to this one or do you want to do it in order?
Let's do an order. Is that okay?
Sure. This is a request for action that was continued for landscaping for a tree removal. It's to remove 9 hornbeam trees of varying sizes from the property. There are 2 groups of 3 in the rear yard and 1 group of 3 in the front yard. And to plant 3 replacement trees per the newly submitted site plan, including 1 gold crabapple, 1 white dogwood, and 1 flowering pin cherry. The staff analysis is the following is from the now approved December 2024 TBC hearing minutes. The application was continued due to the applicant's absence, and the commissioners present provided preliminary feedback, but the application was continued due to absence. The commission determined they would support the removal of the 9 trees so long as the appropriate number of replacement trees were planted. The commission concluded 3 replacement trees could be considered, as it would be 1 for each grouping of trees to be removed. The commission recommended the appropriate tree would be a larger tree than the smaller ornamental trees that were proposed by the applicant. And there are species of smaller vestige species of hornbeams that would grow taller to provide shade without having the canopy and root spread of the larger hornbeam trees. And when the applicant returns for review, the commission requested a site plan be submitted that indicates the location of the existing hardscaping and planting beds and indicates the proposed location for replacement trees. The January business meeting was canceled, and so after the December hearing, the applicant submitted a revised site plan with the plan to plant 3 replacement trees per the submitted site plan, with the species having been planted on the agenda: the gold crabapple, the white dogwood, and the flowering pin cherry. HPO staff does note that while none of the proposed trees are native species, none of them are on the City of Columbus Do Not Plant list that is provided by the Urban Forestry, the Department of Urban Forestry. Staff recommendation that staff does recommend approval with all clarification to be submitted to staff for review and approval prior to the issuance of certificate. And the basis for that is City Code 31613, Standards for site improvements A.
Any questions, comments from the commission?
No.
I have. My concern is that we're removing a significant number of trees. And I believe that what's proposed as the replacement is not really in the spirit of what we had suggested, which was to get something more like a narrow shade tree. What's been proposed are 3 ornamental trees, and they're not likely going to achieve a lot of size or help to infill and, I don't know, give the sort of framework that the other trees did. So I would propose they look at columnar shade trees, you know, something like a Freeman maple, Armstrong Freeman maple, or something in that sort. There are also beeches, things like that that are, but what you're looking for is a fastigiate tree. It's FASTIGAT.
Thank you. Make the change in the minutes as well.
I agree with what? Carol.
Sorry, I was just saying, without the applicant being here, they can't agree to any changes, so.
Any other questions or comments?
I say we move to continue it. Mr. Chairman, I move on item COA 24004337 East Seward Street to continue.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Aye. Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Moving on to item 2, COA 2400612 890 900 South 3rd Street. Once you're both settled, raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
I do.
Jack Reynolds, Smith and Hale, 37 West Broad Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43214.
Sue Faber, I own Bohemco, which owns the property.
This is a request for action for a variance recommendation request. The applicant has submitted a revised list of variances this afternoon. So we'll be reading those to the commission, and they're not printed in your packet, but we can display them on a large screen for you if you want to see them in writing. There are now 9 requested variances for the commission's recommendation, and that is 3332.037 to permit 5 unit dwelling units in the building. 3332.27 to reduce the rear yard requirement from 1,530 square feet to 1,162 square feet, or 18.5%. 3312.49 to reduce the number of required parking spaces from 8 to 5. 3312.27 to reduce their parking lot setback from 10 feet to 0 feet along South 3rd Street and to waive the screening requirement. 3332.26E to reduce the garage setback from 3 feet to 0 feet. 3332.21E to reduce the building setback from 10 feet to 0 feet. 3321.05B2 to reduce the site triangle from 30 feet to 0 feet. And 3312.21D1 to reduce the parking setback from 4 feet to 0 feet and to waive the screening requirement. And 3312.25 to reduce the maneuvering area from 20 feet to 13 feet. The staff analysis, there was no January business meeting, and the staff note that variances, these variances are largely related to a change in use for some units on the parcel from the commercial to residential. HPO staff would request that the applicant confirm if the required 8 spaces is a change due to the change in use. So then more spaces are needed now, or if the property already does not meet its current parking requirements as an existing condition. And additionally, with the new variances, the HPO staff would request the applicant confirm that these are just existing conditions being brought into compliance, and that they're not proposing any future work at this time that is related to these specific variances. Staff recommendation, the staff does recommend the commission recommend the variances as submitted. The basis for that staff recommendation is from the German Village Guidelines on Zoning Variances, page 139.
Anything else to add?
This is simply, this started out with a request. The first floor of the home was an office space and has been an office space for many, many years. Is that us? Okay, here we go. The first floor space was an office, and the market for small office space in the German Village area has been, it hasn't, there's been no demand for it. So Sue would like to convert the office space into an apartment. And so that took the variance request as a council variance because the property is zoned R2F. And that was the first variance that you saw, was to allow the 5 apartment units within the building. The other variances are a result of conforming the building to current development standards. And Anthony, I just want you to know that we did go out and get a surveyor who did do a pen survey, so all of it is accurate. And yes, yes, sir. And each time that we provided the city with materials, they kept asking for additional items. And so that's why you see the last 2 variances that they asked us to provide, because of the parking spaces that are located on the site. So it's simply, this started as a desire to convert the first floor office unit into a dwelling unit. And so we're just simply trying to conform an existing building and garage.
So I have a my list. 3332.18 really multiple buildings, and it's R2F. I don't see that.
It's not on there, because that section talks to multiple units on a site.
Multiple buildings.
Yeah, multiple buildings. And so we went, staff said, that's not what you're asking for, so remove it. So I did.
So how many units is the property currently zoned for?
There are 4 historical units in the building itself.
Previous variance that was granted?
It's been that way for,
So that's not in compliance.
it's an existing condition.
Okay, that's.
City has had no qualms with the fact that there are 4 units in there.
We're going for five.
You're going for 5.
And all of these are for existing conditions? I mean, how many parking spaces are currently provided?
5,
Okay, you're going for 5.
yes. That does not include the garage. We would have 6, but we wanted to make sure that if they ever needed to store something in the garage space, we would have storage space, given that there are 5 apartment units. So we just went with 5 just to make sure on-site parking spaces.
Can you talk about the reduce the site triangle from 30 feet to 0?
If you look at the site today, there is a patio that has piers on it. And so the pier is greater than 2 feet, 2.5 feet in height. And it's right on the corner. And because of the way the city measures the site triangle, the building itself,
898.
898.
Okay.
You get it? It's an existing condition again.
Back to the list again. Maneuvering area from 20 feet to 30 feet. What, is that in the parking lot?
That's in the parking lot. You're supposed to have 20 feet of maneuvering space. And once again, there's only 13.
Just to make sure I know what I'm.
Yes, sir. Anytime. I can clarify.
So I had a question on number 4, to reduce the parking lot setback from 10 to 0, because you have paving now that is set back. You're not paved to the property line along 3rd. So there is a bit of a green space there. And I would like to make sure that's retained, because it does screen the parking.
Right, that, we just planted a tiny little tree in there. Yeah, the driveway goes all the way to the lot line, but then the parking lot opens up and there is green space
Right.
right there.
So is there a way that the elimination of the screening requirement can not be part of it? Or in
It's 20 feet instead of or whatever it is.
That would require, the screening requirement is 2.5 feet in height. And again, I didn't know what kind of an impact that would have on that area getting in and out. So the fact that it's green is, and we can come back and say from 10 feet to, leaving 2 feet of green space there so we can, maintain the 2 feet that is green space right there.
There's more than 2 feet.
Okay, what would you say it is?
looks like
Looks like a parking lot, parking space, 8 to 10.
Like the first parking space is set back like parallel to the face of the main building.
This is the area Karen wants to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's probably,
looks like it's the width of the.
yeah,
8
it's-
feet?
Which is
right, it is, it's exactly the length of the brick patio.
So hang on, that is, okay. Say 8 feet, just to be on the safe side, from 10 feet to 8 feet. I think we could do that just to be on the safe side. And leave all that green space.
I mean, that would be my opinion.
Okay. We can certainly make that.
And you gotta come back for COA.
Yeah.
Only concern, Karen, is when you start getting into the code for the screening, it's dense foliage year round. It's not gonna be the tree you're looking for.
Well, there is a hedge there, it doesn't go the, it looked like it to me, but it doesn't go the whole length, and it is evergreen. Yeah, looks like Texas, or something is planted there.
I have to make sure we're not.
Yeah, there are some boxwoods
Is that what it is?
and another plant that I don't know the name of. And that's right along the front part of it. And it's just grown into a big mass, but it doesn't have much height at the moment.
Just for clarification and to further bolster the parking difference, the current office there, how many square feet roughly is that? Do you know?
About 845 feet.
Okay, so at a 250, one car per 250 square feet commercial, that would be rounded up to 3 cars. So currently with 4 apartments, that's 6 cars. The office 3, it would be 9 for the one office for residential use. So we're actually lessening the parking demand overall of the line.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Just want to reinforce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Right. Should be easier.
No, and I would be more than happy to amend from, on 4 from 10 to 8 feet. So we're maintaining, it's only a 2 foot variance that hang on a second.
331.221 reduce the parking lot setback from 4 feet to 0 feet.
That's the south side. The one that we're talking about is number 4. We want to maintain, that's 3312.27 to reduce the parking lot setback from 10 feet to 8 feet along 3rd Avenue and to waive the screening requirement.
See, it's waiving the screening requirement.
Well, again, as Anthony was saying, the screening requirement requires a 2.5 foot tall screen that's 75% opaque at 70, all year round.
Make this comment. I have no problem with making that a requirement for you. we're giving you an apartment building, we're
Mhm.
giving you another studio apartment.
Okay,
And 2 foot high echelon.
Okay.
That's fine.
okay,
I mean, do you not agree?
okay,
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
it's a
it's going to be
trade-off.
maintained because,
Okay.
I think it's a good trade-off.
okay,
It'll make the corner more attractive, it'll make your property more attractive.
okay,
I would,
no signage, you know.
yeah, I'd stick with what Karen's saying.
okay, we'll take that off. No waving of screen. Yeah.
Just take that one out.
We, so it's still 10 to,
10 feet.
10 to
Yep.
8 feet.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, on item COA 2400612, 890 to 900 South Third Street, I move to recommend the zoning variances. With the exception of CCC 3312.27, that's applied for as bid unit.
Oh, no, is it 10 to 8 feet?
We were just told 10.
Oh, are we?
That's my understanding.
Okay, okay,
So we're just, that one's gonna stay in place.
We're holding the existing condition.
It's gonna be 10 feet. At least.
I could not tell you exactly how many feet it is, but it's 8 to 10.
that's why, yeah.
And I'm not very tape measure, so.
Yeah, well, and that's why you're never sure, so you want to have a little bit of cushion, and that's why I was,
Because the existing may be 9.
Okay, so we're gonna change it from 8
8 feet, if you would.
or match the existing.
Yes, that would be fine. 8 feet or match the existing.
Whichever is the greatest.
Thank you. That's,
Motion, there's a second?
Yes.
We have a second. Any question, motion? All in favor? Aye. Yes. That motion passes.
thank you, folks.
Thank you.
There, so I make sure I have it right in the minutes. That is on number 4, which is not in, it's on the screen now.
Yeah,
3312.27 to reduce the parking lot setback from 10 feet to 8 feet along South Third Street. And then you're removing and to waive the restraining requirement.
correct.
Right, but
And-
it is, from 10 feet to 8 feet or the existing, whichever is greater.
Thank you.
That is correct.
As much.
Where is everybody?
All for
Much
another
longer
year.
agenda.
Silver copy from New Year's. I guess.
Yeah. For the commission, I apologize, I was trying to contact some HBO staff who are still upstairs at their desks. They are currently trying to call the remaining applicants on the agenda. And we have confirmation that application number 6, 880 Purdy Alley is intending to come. And they're still calling the other 3 applicants on the agenda. So if the commission would be willing to give those folks just a few more minutes to see who we can get in contact with and see their estimated arrival times.
Sure.
Um,
We will take a place.
We have somebody sitting in that.
That's Crystal.
You're not representing right now, so.
Take a break until further notice.
Okay. So. And for the commissioners, we will not pause the recording or the live stream during this recess, just as you are still on a live stream and being recorded.
With you, excellent.
Yes.
Great. It's beginning of the year, so or start thinking about caretaker award nominations in the year.
I thought we were gonna have some conversations on whether we were gonna do that.
Yeah.
Continue. That was prevented from going. The recording, I'm sure will be right. We also now have confirmation that applicant for number 7 is about 20 minutes away, so.
We're gonna take them as they show up.
Yeah.
I would, right,
Just ask it.
I certainly wouldn't wait for them all, we're not sure yet who all is.
Sake of expediency, take them as they come.
Yeah, the reach here.
And then waiting. Six. Six. Well, with them. I was gonna say, we're not gonna sit there and chat. Oh, I know. So this is all big.
Place to stone, so. Yep.
Yes.
We have a little bit.
One. And you were repaired. One.
Yep, I was leaving the house, but I did record, so like I take it out, like. That trash, but I grabbed it, sit in the garden house in our apartment. So make sure we have, good,
I'll double check if it's the one thing, but
probably it's up top, small little one.
yeah. We do have an update for the commissioners. We received the, confirmation from the applicants for number 6 and number 7 that they are in transit to get here. Number 7 has an estimated time of about 20 minutes. Or about 5 minutes ago. So, and then one of the applications is not able to attend, and we have confirmation of that as well. So if the commission is amenable, for waiting for that, applicant, we have the estimated arrival time for, once they arrive, you know, unless they're not here within that 20-30 minutes they gave us, reviewing their case. Anyone else who arrives, you'll also review their cases, but then after that, if no one's here, continuing and adjourning as you see it.
Yes. It's a Thursday call. It's just a dog that I'm not good.
Should be true. It's never happened. I know, yeah, I don't get it. It's never. Yeah, it's on the agenda even.
No, but 6 and 7 did say that they're on their way.
And 6 is lives down in general.
Okay, so then
That's
that's
not correct as well, so.
all right. Jacqueline's on the phone with number 3. Doesn't sound like number 3 will be coming. I don't know about number 5, but at least hopefully. Yeah. Okay, there's a. You know, I had this,
It's 3 and 1.
yes, 3 of them.
They're good too. But. You're welcome.
Can take a very long, snack break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. So.
So we should take a look at finders that both can show up. So you guys can get through some items. And
What's up tomorrow? Yes, great. And then it's good. Yeah.
attended, so fingers crossed. Enjoy the rest of your meeting, everybody.
I would choose myself on the category, which is nice. I just checked, we did actually use, so they have used for reading the approvals, but the hearing petition.
Okay.
That'll take us. Yes.
Thursday.
It's been still. Where is the thing? Maybe. I would just. It's just 6.
Six of them.
Okay. Yep, so you can bring in leave my numbers. You have to write them. There's 20 bucks in the instruction.
to, because there's gonna be. They gives us a whole, hey, we're gonna. Oh, she love giving her food. It is. I think I can ask about it because there might be a way that, you know, you're technically outside of the organization and then add them to like. Because it might be.
It's not big.
But when you get a lot of officer fire, you're missing something else. You don't need officer fire again. Yeah.
Anything, any question? Oh, there.
Yeah, with Carol.
Yeah, I would talk. Still getting email from companies asking me to shop their Boxing Day sales. I'm June. Yeah.
Hello?
Hi,
New York.
Hemmingers.
Numbers Yes.
Come all the way up here.
Take your seats, and once you're settled, you'll raise your right hands.
This is intimidating. Woo-hoo.
The record show, we're back on the record. We have applicants. Just want to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the truth.
Emily Heminger, Julie Heminger.
Thank you very much.
Yes, this is a request for action for a landscaping application to install a new 18 by 20 foot concrete parking area with a 6-inch granite curb per the submitted site plan. Noting this area is currently a gravel parking pad. To install a new brick wall with iron fence, including a 12-inch brick base with 3-inch iron picket fence to replicate the sample photo in the materials packet. Excuse me. To replace the existing wooden gates with new gates per the submitted sample photo. Install 3 new window boxes per the site plan. Install a new west elevation brick stoop. And to install a new 180 square foot brick patio in the rear yard. With staff analysis, there was no January business meeting. And HBO staff identified 3 major areas of concern with the proposed landscaping plan. Just a moment. Which is that the gravel area is being proposed to be converted to concrete, the proposed brick wall, iron fence, and the style of the proposed new wooden gates. The proposed driveway configuration alters an existing gravel parking area with an existing curb cut to be a poured concrete parking pad in the rear yard. HBO staff does not typically support the replacement of, does support the replacement of gravel, as gravel parking areas are not code compliant. However, concrete would result in a reduction of permeability, and dry laid brick is the GB guidelines recommendation for driveways and parking areas. The proposed brick wall and iron fence configuration does not follow the German Village guidelines, which recommends to try and solve privacy and security needs with traditional wood and metal materials, as well as through landscaping and avoiding masonry walls. HBO staff would recommend a traditional wood fence be installed in this location as it is a rear yard fence. Iron fencing may also be appropriate depending on the overall height and placement at the commission's discretion or commission's conversation. Finally, the proposed wooden gate areas are a round ornate style that falls outside of what HBO staff can approve as a staff approval. And the German Village guidelines recommend using traditional forms, picket fences, plain board fences, and the like, but the commission has approved more ornate gates in the past. It's just not something staff can approve. The staff recommendation is approval with clarifications to be submitted to staff prior to the issuance of the certificate and the following conditions. And those recommended conditions from staff would be the application is amended to use brick for the existing driveway rather than proposed concrete, and to alter the proposed rear fence to a simple design that is either all iron or all wood. Additionally, the applicant submits an appropriate paint or stain color for any new wooden fences and gates for HBO staff review and approval. And with reading this, I do think there was a conversation with the applicant about the brick. They may have discussed already with us, and so that is the case, they can add those additional details about the brick driveway. Because I think I have a brick pattern in here as well, so I apologize for confusion on that one. The basis for the staff recommendation is City Code 31613, Standards for Site Improvements A and B. The German Village Guidelines for walks, sidewalks, driveways, patios, and parking lots on page 125, and then recommendation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the German Village Guidelines for fences and walls 2, 3, 5, and 7.
All right, anything else to add?
Don't think so.
All right, questions, comments from the commission?
So let's start with the paving. Brick versus concrete.
We plan to do brick.
Brick is fine.
Yeah.
It says you're gonna have issues with drainage down into the alley and stuff, that's gonna be a big problem.
I
That
guess
has
I
to be
can't
addressed
answer,
internally.
haven't been there when there's been like water and things, so I don't know, but brick is fine.
Okay, that works.
I would make the suggestion too, that if you Karen down here, the holds up better.
Even better.
Turning.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay. Yeah, it's tight. It's very tight back there, so.
But then there's the issue with the fence with the brick piers, which historically, way a long time ago, the commission used to approve. We haven't done it probably in the last 5 to 8 years. So as they said, either a wrought iron fence or a wood privacy fence would
Mhm.
be acceptable for the guidelines,
Okay,
More plantings.
or plantings, yeah.
okay.
Um. And then I got a question about brick stoop, because we have not been approving brick stoops. What would be really appropriate, because that goes with cottage style, we have allowed stone. But you're showing a semicircular,
Mm-hmm,
which I don't know how you're gonna get your porch columns and stuff to align with that.
okay.
So
I think that was just the initial draw up, but
if we go back to what you got, do it in probably wood or stone.
okay,
I get what the wood issue is, but I would recommend getting it on stone.
okay.
That's my 1%.
Yeah.
So with the fence, we can't, we come from the country, so this is very new for us being in the city like this. And even right across where you live, it's, and I guess that's what you're saying, that you approved some years ago.
Yeah,
Um,
we used to.
Yeah, because I guess we've seen them all over, but it just gives, like, the house has been broken into several times. I guess I would just feel more comfortable if it could be, I guess I feel like if it's all wood, it's just too, you're too,
Blocked.
you're too, I don't know.
Not visually.
You can't see
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, you're kind of just back there, but then if you have the fencing, I feel like it's also kind of more open that way.
If you do a combination of a wrought iron fence that gives you the security you're looking for, and then you can landscape, give you the privacy. Boxwood, landscape architect, could come up with you landscaping that would be evergreen all year round.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
And what level is that much better than wood fence because you get air through it?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Mhm.
Okay.
I had no comments about the gate, right?
I think the plan was just a pretty simple, like rounded wood gate, if that's appropriate. Yeah, this was just like something we kind of saw.
I mean,
Just to give a
it's
visual.
there now, so.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's a bad day, but it's more decorative than probably some,
Yeah,
I had no comments about that.
okay.
I'm gonna open a can of worms. What work has been done on the property to date?
Well, there's been a lot of work done. When we bought the house, we didn't realize that we had to have these things approved. Until we met with our landscape architect, and he's the one that was, he was like, you have to get this approved, you have to get this approved, and we're like, we just really didn't know, we weren't aware. So it has been,
Just recited.
it's been recited. And it has a new front door. And the windows are new because they were breaking into the house. They stole all of our copper. They stole all of it. We had a brand new furnace installed and was it damaged? I don't
Take it
remember.
apart.
I don't know.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and so the windows were kind of just sitting in the house. I mean, we're very, very apologetic. We're not from here. We weren't aware.
So what's probably gonna end up happening, I don't want you to be caught off guard in a sense. Probably gonna be a 311 order put out because it worked out that a COA, so appropriateness, windows, front door, the porch, entry porch removed, and the rounded porch on the front. The double French doors on the back of the house were put in, there was a single door. All that being done without a COA, all that should be coming to us to review what's been done, determine what's been done is appropriate for the historic nature of the village. And that's up to the commission to discuss. It's not for this meeting because it's not on in front of us on the agenda.
Mm-hmm,
I just want to let you know it's probably going to be coming and not be shot.
okay,
City will reach out to you when zoning enforcement gets to the notice, reach out to you, and say, hey, you gotta come to the commission, put together an application, just document what's been done. This, get with Nick, Nick can help you put together that packet. So,
okay.
want to let you know, it's not the only time it's happened. It's happened before, so we're not going to beat you up about it, but we gotta make sure what's being done is doing it.
I like that, thank you.
If I could also add, if you receive a violation notice, it is an alarming letter. As some reassurance, as long as you are actively working with the commission, code enforcement will not pursue action on that violation. So they will issue it and they check in with us to see if you're working with the commission, getting them information and things like that.
Okay,
So when you receive the letter, just know they don't take action unless you just ignore the violation.
okay,
So,
The language is pretty.
Intense.
We're
okay,
gonna work with you and try to get you to something that.
okay, okay.
Just give you a heads up, some of the work that you did may not be guidelines, and we may not get through, we may have to redo some of them, so. Be prepared for that too.
Mhm,
Make a good case for what you did.
mhm,
My
okay,
recommendation is that they get you to talk with the contractor that did the work. They should have been getting,
They should know.
should have known, should have been getting building permits. They get building permits, that's supposed to be going through zoning, through making sure the city lays in there.
okay,
So if they did work without the permit, that's, you have potential recourse through the builder, so I'm sure they're aware of this coming too.
okay.
So with all that said, is there anything else on the application you can talk about?
Just the stones that are out there, that were out there, I know that they've been hit a lot, so those can just be placed back? Okay,
Basically, for learning purposes for the district, if it's there and you're basically replacing in kind, we typically say put back what's there and to grab it in. A lot of times things are done inappropriately, like Ned says, in the past, there was the brick wall with the metal fence. It said, if it's already there, we're not gonna make you tear out what was done years and years and years ago.
mhm,
But if it never existed, there's no evidence of existing, there's no historical precedence for it. We're not gonna prove a non-historical thing, there's no precedence for being.
okay,
So stones on the edges.
okay,
Like I said, just we continue this, if you've got a whole scope of work to work on and come back. Keeps it on the agenda, keeps you moving to the top of the agenda as we're moving through, so.
okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, on application COA 240059788 Purdy Alley, I move to continue.
Second.
Joyce, any questions on the motion? All those in favor? Yes. Let's have it. It's coming in, appreciate it.
Thank you, I'm sorry we were late.
You.
Here's. I don't think you were.
Oh, good.
Steve, raise your right hand and you're ready. No rush.
I got back to, got backup with me.
Raise your right hand. Go ahead, tell the truth, the whole truth, and the truth.
I do.
Your name?
Joseph Karifa.
My name's Joseph too.
Thank you very much. Nick?
This is a request for action for demolition and new construction.
I didn't read in the actual numbers.
Oh, sorry.
Seven, correct?
Yes, application 7.
All right, seven, COA 24006237668 City Park.
Thank you. This is a request for action for demolition and new construction to demolish the existing second floor addition and to construct a new second story addition that is cantilevered from just the south elevation. Using a true exterior boral board and batten, Marvin Ultimate casement windows, a CertainTeed 3-tab shingle in Moire black, and 5-inch K-style gutters. The following is taken from the now approved December 2024 GPC hearing minutes. Commissioner comments. The commission determined they are likely to conclude that the existing second floor is not historic and is not contributing. Excuse me. Therefore, they will likely support demolition with an appropriate replacement addition. Some commission identified evidence that brick on the first floor is evidence, that the brick that is on the first floor is evidence for changes over time. Some commissioners concluded they would support the extension and cantilever addition towards the rear of the structure, as an extension over the entrance door in the rear is more typical. But most commissioners determined they would not support the cantilever portion on the side elevation. Commissioners were split on if they would support an L-shaped addition for this property. The commission emphasized that the interior design cannot drive or force exterior changes to the property. The exterior changes being in line with code and guidelines should be that it should lead to any proposal on the design. From the current application, HBO staff are concerned with the proposal for the new second floor addition to extend beyond the first floor addition of the back elevation. The German Village Guidelines for Additions recommends that new additions should not obscure, damage, or destroy significant architectural features of historic buildings. Additionally, the proposed addition is in line with both the primary structure and the older first floor addition. GV guidelines and city code generally recommend new additions are differentiated from the historic with the new addition, and the typical recommendation from the commission has been 4 to 6 inch reveals of corners of historic structures, with that varying depending on the actual conditions of the individual properties. Additionally, the applicant does propose a deviation from the approved shingle list, as the Moray black or more black, I'm not sure which there, is not the color of shingle for the brand shingle type that is on the approved shingle list. The certainty is just the, it's either nickel or estate gray on that one for the approved shingle list. The staff recommendation is that staff recommends the commission continue the application to allow time for the applicant to revise their design. The basis for that recommendation is City Code 31611, standards for alteration 1 through 12. The City Code 31614, standards for demolition, and the German Village Guidelines for additions 1 through 4.
Anything else to add?
I may have made a typo. She said south, to cantilever south, it's the east, the back. So.
That may have also been my card.
It could have been mine. It could have been, it's the backside of the house, east side.
Questions, comments from the commission?
Well, I'll start. I think what you proposing is better than what we had, what we saw last month. Were you here last month? Or-
Yes, I was here. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just.
No problem.
No.
Yeah.
By getting rid of the cantilever to
South.
south side. So I think it's better, okay? I think there's some issues with how you resolve it. Couple things, I think the roof that you're showing here doesn't resolve itself well with the existing roof on the two-story structure. You need to figure that out. I think the rest, well, can you go to the floor plan? Yes. Let's say existing. There we go. Okay, this being,
That's just first floor and second floor. The proposed is the dash line.
yeah. Okay, so, yeah, so on the, so, okay, so the addition needs to start inside it. The inside corners so that we can see the corners of the existing.
Original,
Or
yeah.
You can pull that in inches.
Okay, you stated that last time.
Yeah, so you can see that. I think the big, I got two big issues. If you want to go to the, well, go to the pictures. Yeah, okay, so this detail of your eave line and your box cover is the same one here.
Correct.
I think you need to maintain this. I have no problem with you coming out this way, I don't. But I think you need to maintain this on both sides because it's historic. You need to pull your addition back in here a little bit, and figure out how you're gonna address coming out over this back end, and how you're gonna address the bottom of your cantilever.
Okay.
To make all this coordinate and come together for it.
Okay.
You're not showing anything right now in your elevation, you just got siding, and we're gonna that on the brick. You need to figure out how to make that transition a better transition
Smooth.
by using this as an element, sort of coming around or something.
Fair.
Okay.
And then real quick, before I
Yeah.
jump to the next piece, when you go on Google Street View over at City Park and go just north of the property and look at it from the side. So we don't have these photos in the application, but I'll make sure we all see it. There's something funny going on with the existing roof that may influence the design of those on deck, potentially. Might be a staff site visit, site visit reference, dig into. So on City Park, left of the pin, cut right up there. And look, zoom into the roof. So you see there's an addition to the primary already at the roof line. The transition from the first portion of brick to the second portion of brick. And then what we're looking at is kind of the third addition onto it.
I always can jump in.
I
Yeah,
don't know what the age of all that is. It looks like there might be a brick line in there. But the fact that we're going from a high roof to a less high roof to now another roof, is there anything in there in the applicant's benefit of engaging that back piece, or again, if keep on stepping down, down, down? Head, it might become an issue.
yeah, it depends on what your headlights.
So you're gonna say what I'm talking about, we've got an existing condition coming down, down. You may end up with too less headroom and how you engage with the structure, the roof line is gonna come into play with this final design. Because what's currently shown in the application, I'm not sure it's gonna get you what you need, page 7 of the application. Don't do that, which one's that, which side? It's a
But it's
flat top tip.
we're time.
Yeah,
The child.
yeah, so, and what you're saying, Rick, this needs to be resolved, this needs to be resolved. We've had some places where the new roofs had slid underneath the eave.
Yeah.
And this is my opinion, because I've seen it a couple of times now, and I know next door to me. I'm not even for that anymore, I'm for if you can do it, butt it up to the eve, because it'll lead to a flashing maintenance nightmare. That I think we're causing more problems by trying to make our applicants do that. I think we need to think better on how those existing eaves exist and how we're butting into them, rather than trying to slide underneath.
I think that's what it's doing right now, the current existing second story addition, I think it is sliding underneath.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree. What about pop?
Leah butt.
Okay,
Put it that way,
okay.
okay?
No, pop up.
We need to see detail.
Yeah, that's fair, totally fair.
Is the existing addition that is a flat roof,
Uh-uh.
or you just can't?
It's a
see?
mixture, yeah, I've gotten up on the first story, but it's a mixture. There's some
It's
rubber up there and there's some shingle. It's kind of just patched together.
If you go with a flat roof, you got the rubber option with flat roof. If you go with a very low slope, you can get by with certain kinds of standing metal seam roofs.
Yeah,
Or a rubber TPO kind of roof.
yeah,
I just don't think to get the pitch you need for shingle,
Yeah,
you're gonna cause yourself more trouble.
I agree. Okay.
That's all I have. So they overhang without any kind of storage underneath it, doesn't seem to be consistent in village building style. It's,
I am, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Goodbye.
It's in the back.
Yeah.
And the positive part to me is he's getting more square footage, but he's not increasing the footprint of the building. And that I find to be a plus.
And covering the back door.
Yeah, and, yeah. So, but I think it looks odd, Karen, because it needs to be artificially addressed. You put those eaves back in, and you get some kind of treatment around that figured out, I think it will. Yeah.
yeah,
It does look odd.
it's framed, it's not masonry.
Yeah.
If you want to put columns corners. Structurally, it's easier structurally wise.
Yeah, I think it's exactly 1/3 overhang of the distance. I think structurally, we're good. Just out of curiosity, would the commission be open to maybe popping the roof above the second? Having a flat roof, if we can go to the photo of the north? Yeah, yeah, even this Google Street View, I think, but popping above it with a flat view, yeah,
Raising that and then
yeah,
I think if you do that, what's gonna end up happening is you're gonna be raising this thing to the top of the gutter. You got that thing to come through on, go above it, now you have an addition where this end of your addition piece is trying to engage with that slope edge of your roof. You're gonna have this long detail of having that thing die into a flat surface. You're gonna have water damming and everything else. I'm not sure it's the best interest. If you're gonna do a flat roof, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's not actually right. Have it tie into let that gutter kind of be there, so the water coming down and running that, get out of the way. And your roof for the addition starts up in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play with it, I appreciate it, yeah, that's great.
The only downside is you're gonna have a gutter over top of the interior space,
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's why I was trying to think of coming up above,
Or you can close the gutter and just have all the people from the front of the gutter and not the back.
maybe have two cricket, but anyways, that's
Yeah.
good, that's good.
But the look is, I agree.
the other option I can see is doing pitched roof. But then you're gonna have to connect that into the existing.
Well, then it's-
The chimney is gonna be weird.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Yeah, if you could add or show the chimney in your elevations, that would be great. Especially six.
Can we go to the back view?
The chimney.
Can we go to the back, photo? East? Yeah. Okay.
I'd rather chimney.
Can you go to Google Street View?
Go to the here.
Yeah, go.
Second.
It's off in the middle.
We went through this with an applicant 2 months ago. Chimney needs to stay.
Yeah, that's,
Interior space, if it goes way inside the house, it's fine. You can support it, the roof line.
I'm gonna leave it.
Is there anybody, just make sure you've got the STDs, anybody against cantilever of the rear addition? As generally closed. You got that piece. I think it's late to figure out the detail.
100%, yeah.
I'm just waiting for it.
As well as holding down corners.
Yeah.
In regards to stay. Story.
Saying, H2 is
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think.
There.
now play that. Reading a form from below up. There case to be made, bring that up on both sides, because you're only going to be in the face on the south.
Different materials, maybe.
Yeah.
Try.
Thank you, Ben, for sharing.
That's okay. Any detailed questions or comments that you want to provide?
We
State?
just need to see more information.
Absolutely, I agree.
A little more.
Yeah, 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 100%.
And it runs, gutter or thing, or what's the detail, right?
We need that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of rudimentary just to, see if we could get the overhang.
Yeah.
So, didn't want to invest too much. Time.
The guidance wise is my take, feel free to tell me on that, I'm not people, but as we mentioned, that gutter that exists, kind of keep that piece size.
Yep.
Here,
Yep,
address something of the spirit of this part of the gutter.
Yep.
Part of the other side of the overhang,
yep,
window wise. It's probably safest if you stick with the traditional side windows, or indentation windows. Single pane window, big open single pane, probably not would be the best potentially. We have to see the detail, you don't have it all.
all right.
As far as siding, if you have any thoughts of what you want for siding, you can stick with board and batten.
Yeah, board and batten, yeah, board and batten.
Board and batten typically the past if approved for wood is fine. A lot of applicants want to have a composite material nowadays. Have approved large format coverage sheets of the party panels.
Yeah.
We've seen that there's some evidence of that failing over time in the district. So not sure how much longer we'll be approving that potentially. But if you have another smooth panel option, the key is not to have it that faux wood texture, it's just basically,
Copy that.
but feel free to find it in past specifications or cut sheets.
Yeah, I think I found something, and some boron batten.
Pretty board panels, and the edges are coming.
Okay.
The application.
Boron batten,
Or has the back, the strip.
yeah, the flat pan, yeah, yeah. True exterior or whatever.
It's showing.
Sit down, Joe.
Just for record, your new floor plan showing the windows that are staying versus staying.
Okay.
We've not seen that. Which is long job.
Okay.
Generally speaking, opening as a mayor, you have a door opening. We recommend using that as your access into the new space. There's a window, running a window into a door. Paint that, but blowing out entire wall.
Yeah, no, there's no plan in that.
Okay.
Thank you.
You'd like us to continue?
Continue.
Mr. Chairman, on application COA 2400623768 City Park Avenue, I move to continue.
Second, any questions on the motion? Favor? Yes. Have it, motion passes.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Good job. Sorry about the delay. I thought it was Monday all day. I don't know.
Items 3 or 5.
Confirmation of 3 is not going to attend, and then, no response on 5, so we'll assume as well they're not going to attend at this point, especially after a 30-minute delay by the commission. Or with the commission's agreement, not from the commission, you all are here. So there's.
I would ask one question. Is there any value? Did anybody have any comments they want to make on 5s? We know this need to give any feedback. This.
I do on 5, and I agree with HBO's statement about the rear porches need to remove.
Let me call it in. We'll make statements. Okay. That's item 5, COA 24000618, 242 East Beck Street.
Did you want me to,
Just quick read through.
I'll read the description. The request for action is for landscaping, to remove the existing rear brick patios and porches and replace them with grade level brick patios. Remove most of the existing landscaping elements, including ponds, walkways, and small plantings. Installing new bluestone walkways in the lawn and new brick patios, installing new plantings for the site plan, and then to remove the existing railroad ties and replace with limestone retaining walls. Just summatively, the application as a whole simplifies the existing landscaping in the rear yard, which is a very ornate style. HBO staff's primary concern is the proposed removal of the existing porches. While the existing porches are a artificial flooring and material, we do have historic photos of existing porches in those locations. So there would have been a raised porch in both of the two rear porches. It's originally a duplex, now a single family.
It's just that it's an architectural characteristic, regardless of what the materials are. They go with that.
And just for, at the last hearing, separately, the applicant wanted to keep the porches, but take the floors down to grade. We have any hardly go with that?
Yeah, sure do. I think they need to stay there. I would say the opposite approach is the way to go, is raise the patios up. If they want that flush thing, keep the porches as they are. And raise the patios, elevate the adjacent patio to maintain the elevation, but in a design manner that maintains the separation of porch to patio visually.
Any other comments on item 5? All right, if there are other comments, is there a motion to continue?
Item 5, 242 East Beck Street, I move to continue.
Any question, motion? Those in favor? Against? Ayes have it, motion passes. Anybody with any comments on number 3?
I'm not quite sure. I can't tell from the pictures what the existing conditions are. Okay, so hay gutters go on Plum.
Following with item 3 is POA 24005 670 South Grand Avenue.
That.
Angle back to
Call it in first.
A request for action for an exterior building alteration to remove the existing half-round gutters and replace the gutters with a 6-inch K-style gutter in the color dark bronze. The proposed gutter replacement is not a like-for-like replacement, and it was determined by HBO staff that the K-style is not compatible with the even roof construction.
Yeah, so plumb cut is K and perpendicular cut is half round. This is perpendicular cut, needs to stay half round.
Make the one comment that looks like the dormer up top is a perpendicular cut.
How big is it?
You gotta have it up top to match the low, but it's a different.
If it's a plumb cut, it can be K. They don't have to match.
Applicant might want them to match.
I would say they want them to match, they should probably adjust the upper detail and match the principal structure below. All right, any other comments on this one? If none, is there a motion to?
Item COA 2400552 670 South Grand Street. Move to continue.
Second.
Question on the motion? Favor? Yes. I say it, motion passes. That should be it. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Those in favor? Aye. Yes. Too bad.